In lane 4 for Canada, bronze of the 100 metres here, bronze of the 1 and the 2 years ago at Paris, fourth in the 2 in the Paralympic Games. It's Marissa Papaconstantinou.
You do want to see both the men and women come together as they continue their contract talks, but here's the thing, the World Cup is less than 2 months away when it comes to the men.
Co-founder of the NSL and Olympic soccer star Diana Matheson, great to have you back.
Thanks for having me back.
A lot of people have said, Pride's canceled, and it's not canceled. It's just in here.
Brian Austin, the greatest intro
there it is.
ever.
I absolutely love this film.
Get into that.
We're giving wrestler.
The one and only George Strabo.
Hello. Hey, made it.
You were waiting for me, weren't you? You're like, where is she? Where's she?
We're going.
So good to see you guys. You know what? Being in this building, and we had some conversations about the Olympics, and I'm getting so excited now at the idea that it's going to be happening very soon. It must be the same for you guys.
Oh, I feel like I was just in Paris.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But yeah, Milano Cortina, I think, is going to be the most significant Olympic Games we've had for a minute.
I'm super excited. Being involved, obviously, as an athlete for my whole career has been an incredible journey on the summer side. But now that I kind of get to invest a little bit of time on the other side of the camera and really invest in the Winter Olympics and Paralympics is really cool.
The Olympics are special because you have your diehards, but then you also have your casual fans, and then you have people who are just patriotic, and they obviously just want to see somebody who represents the Maple Leaf do well. But to your point, suddenly they get hooked and go, wait a second, where can I see more of that? Whether they just love the athlete because of their athletic ability, or somebody just has a great personality and they're a star.
Yeah.
Where can I see that? Which is why we also love what we do at CBC, because every weekend we bring those high performance sports, right? Like we bring alpine, and we bring like even somebody who's like, when Kaylee Humphreys was killing it in bobsleigh, when she was, even still representing Canada, we show bobsleigh. Like everyone's like, well, where can I see her? She had the shaved head, like, all the tattoos. Like, she was cool. She was like so cool. She still is cool. Yeah. And it's like, you can watch her on CBC.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's the access that makes it better now.
Oh, yeah.
Something that's really important, the idea of talking to other athletes and what they're going through mentally and physically, you kind of understand the steps that they're going through. Do you have empathy towards them when they're going into a space that's so important to them?
Absolutely. I know firsthand what that feels like. And I think that's what is a really unique and cool opportunity about doing this as a current athlete and someone that's very much in it still, is that I will be watching and I will be very much feeling the feelings they're feeling and sympathizing with everything they're feeling. Because I know as a lot of people ask athletes, like, what does it feel like to represent Team Canada? And what does it feel like to be at the Olympics and Paralympics? And it's hard to describe in words, but when they are describing it, I will know how that feels. Like I'll know, even if they don't have very many words to describe it, it's like, trust me, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. So honestly, I think the world has just changed. I think the power of sport shows us that our similarities outweigh our differences. I think nationalism, for better or worse, has been on the rise. I think people want to see some great sporting competition, and it just feels a little more significant. I think that it's going to move the needle in a way that, that's a big statement to bring up Vancouver 2010, but I think it will be one of the bigger significant Olympics we've seen in the last few years.
Wow. And we'll be watching the female athletes more closer than ever. I feel like the last few years has been our time.
Yeah, it has.
Right?
She retired right before Tokyo, so unfortunately no gold medal, but it is like so special. Even your teammates that are still competing and whatnot, just seeing the momentum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, women's athletes, like you said, you see it every 2 years. It's, it's mostly the women winning medals for Canada.
Do you have stats? No.
I got stats. I got stats. It's, I've been saying more recently, it's a Canadian natural resource, women's athletes. It's like maple syrup. Like, we're just really good at producing.
I just heard you say that yesterday. Yeah. And I'm like, I love maple syrup.
Exactly. We're really good at producing women's athletes. And now finally we're in the era where we're actually creating a business out of that.
It's just like a celebration of life. Like it's so inspirational and impactful for the athletes, but also if you zoom out, like the economy of sport. This is changing doctors' lives, physios' lives, coaches, support staff, massage. Like it just trickles down so significantly. And it is, I mean, you got to start talking about it like a business. Like there's real good here. And it's exciting to see Canada at the forefront.
And that's it. I think it's the narrative too. When we talk to our girls, my daughter just went to university and she quit volleyball. It just seemed like this is the end of it because now she's starting university. But my other daughter just yesterday, she was at another volleyball game. I have 2 daughters. The other one's playing, and she goes, "Mom, I have my period and I can't play. My everything hurts. I don't know what to do." And I go, "Stick it out and just go out there and have a good time." And it's those conversations that I feel like needs to be even bigger, what the girls actually go through, right? And I think that's also the narrative is finally changing.
Yeah, it'll change so much, like over the next few decades. I feel like we bring this up like every second day. I feel like women's medicine is like new. Like, where like our parents didn't have women's medicine.
We never talked about our period.
Yeah. Starting to talk about it?
Yeah.
So, back in when we all have grandkids, we're going to be like, back in our day. It's
2025. Yeah.
So we picked some photos from your social media, and we just love your journey. And we're going to talk about your book as well. I don't even remember the photos that we chose, so this is going to be exciting. Whichever you like. And right in the middle. We would love to hear the story behind it.
Aww. Yeah.
Yes. So this one's a special one for me because the first time I ever hosted the Olympics was 2014 Sochi. So that was in Sochi, and they have the Olympic rings everywhere. And of course, I took a photo in front of like every place that they had the Olympic rings. That happened to be one of them. Definitely squinting because the sun is very bright. But this one means a lot because it was just my first experience being boots on the ground and hosting and absorbing it and soaking it all in. And that was the main square. I can tell because of all the flagpoles. So whenever an athlete got their medals, they actually got them in that main plaza. Yeah. And that was where I witnessed Charles Hamelin got a gold medal. And in speed skating, short track speed skating, and I went and I witnessed his gold medal. And as they were raising the Canadian flag and playing the national anthem, I was videotaping it, so I wasn't paying attention to what was going on around me. And then when it was all done, I looked around and there was a circle around me because can't really see it, but my coat, you could tell I'm from Canada. Yeah. So everyone circles around me, clapping and cheering and congratulating me as a fellow Canadian.
Yeah. You're like, thank you.
You're like, it was the spirit that
the spirit of Canadians. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This was a campaign I did last year going into the Paralympic Games. And this was like super cool to be part of because it was on some pretty big billboards in Yonge and Dundas Square, which was, again, a very full circle moment for me, just being able to see everything kind of up on big billboards. As a young girl going through sport, I never really imagined being.
But did you have a chance to enjoy that success, like realizing what that meant?
I don't think I really did in the moment last season because I think I was just so hung up and caught up on trying to perform at the games, and there was so much going on and so many obligations with sponsorship, which obviously I'm very grateful for always. But I think afterwards when everything sunk in, I realized because, again, I did fall short of my goals at Paris last year, and I had to understand and come to terms with that. But I think it really taught me a big lesson is that success comes in many different shapes and forms and sizes. And what I had thought what my success would be last year ended up being in a way that I didn't actually imagine. And I think stuff like this, getting the Paralympics more coverage and more
being an inspiration,
being in mainstream media more, and just having that opportunity to be an advocate and a role model is always something I'm
that picture is badass. Look at
great form, as she said. Speed skating lessons. Yeah. This was Sochi.
Yeah. Look at that.
This was Sochi?
This was Sochi. Okay. And I really, really struggled with my mental health. Unfortunately, I was diagnosed with clinical depression 7 months out maybe to the Olympics. And that was just a real slog, to be blunt. It was an all-encompassing issue. And there were just so many things that could have derailed that dream. It almost derailed. There were so many things that I felt I could have let defeat me. And Clara Hughes was a dear friend, is a dear friend, and was a dear teammate. And she was working for CBC at that time, and she just helped me out so significantly. And
so that's really your mentor, the person you're, 100%.
And it's funny because it's not like we talk on the phone every day.
Right.
But just the impact that she's had on my life and the messages that she told me going to that line.
Yeah.
it was it was perhaps the first time in my entire life that I was proud of myself, was standing on that line in Sochi and knowing that I showed up fully as myself, and I did everything in my power, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the hurt, the victories, everything in between, but that's a kid that's broken but learning to love herself.
That struggle, that time, that photo, that moment. Did you see that in other athletes as well, or did you feel? Yeah.
And it's that nuance, right? Where everyone loves a medal, but there's just so much power in every athlete's story, because it's really not about the destination, not to sound cliched, but you live the dream in the pursuit of it, not when you reach it. And it's not what you do, but what you do and its effect on others, right?
This athlete too, I feel like you buried the lead a bit, was also the only athlete from North America to come out publicly. I forgot that part. In opposition of Russia's anti.
And Russia, that's it. Yeah.
That was a fairly significant thing this athlete took on, and all the media and attention that came with that.
From the outside, and knowing that story from that time, she looks like a very, very brave person who's, obviously there's depth to your own personal story and your experience at the time, but from what we all knew of that, we were like, look how brave this person is. Look at what she's facing down.
It takes, unfortunately, I feel like a certain level of failure to come to terms with kind of letting just like life take care of itself sometimes. Because I used to get so caught up in trying to control every little aspect about what I was doing in my sport to try and be the best. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what brought me to that level of peace was being prepared. And so I knew that if I was showing up somewhere prepared and I had done everything I possibly could, the rest is out of my hands.
Right.
All you can do is put everything that you've worked so hard for to work and to execute. So like we talk a lot about execution in track and field, and it's about how do you run a really good 100 meters? And that's basically what I've had to learn to focus on is how do I execute? Did I show up prepared? And how can I run my best race possible? And everything that happens after that is completely out of my control. So, you can show up to a competition and run the race of your life, but so could 4 other people and you're off the podium. Or, my experience at the Paris Paralympics last year, I was having an incredible final part of my season, feeling very prepared, and I did everything that was necessary to show up and be ready. But then I got COVID. So, things happen that are completely out of your control. And I think if a young Marissa kind of experienced what I had experienced last summer, I would have been devastated in more ways than I could have understood. But as a more mature athlete, I understood in that moment that this is how things go sometimes, and it's completely out of my control. And it's best to only focus on the things that I can control, which is my attitude, my preparation, the way I show up for myself, the way I show up for my teammates, and everything else like sleep, nutrition, all those things that are ultimately only in my control. So I know that's a really long-winded answer.
No, it's good. And it shows how important it is to be focused and consistent. And I think that's a lot of things kids forget to do. And you're showing that that's what counts.
When you talk about the Olympics, what makes it so significant? What makes the event so significant? It is something the entire world comes together to watch.
The camaraderie of all the countries. That's what's so special. And again, like we're not trying to pretend we're Team Canada, but when we're on the ground and we have our CBC gear on, it's just obvious you're from Canada. It's red. You got some maple leaves on there, right? And one time when I was leaving the hotel, I think one of the first athletes to compete for Canada in Sochi too was Mark McMorris, and it was in snowboard. And I was rushing to get out to the studio because, we were going to have him in our show. And everyone was like, good luck, Canada, because they knew he was competing. But they were yelling out, good luck to me. It was all these different countries, right? So when you knew, and a lot of times it's like a big name athlete from a certain country. And when you knew that they were competing, you just wished the broadcasters from that country luck as well. You're like, good luck, right? Hope your athlete does well. Hope you have a great show. So I don't know. There's just like, when you're at the Olympics, it really truly is like you're like in this snow globe of the world coming together and just being kind.
We don't press pause because nothing ever stops, but I do think it brings people together in a way that no other event does. And that is no disrespect to other large sporting events, but you don't need to be a sports fan to be an Olympic fan, because it's really the display of the human spirit and trying against all the odds. And sometimes Goliath wins, sometimes David wins, but it's a gift, because I think it's just the most raw showcase of people striving for more, and we get to do it together. Like very few things remind us that our similarities far away our differences, like the Olympics and Paralympics do.
So this is my family. This is my dad Bill, my mom Kathy, and my sister Kristen. And this was at we also just look so young here, because I was only 17.
Right.
And we were kind of exploring after, or maybe this was like midway through the World Championships in 2017.
Wow.
And I actually think this was like maybe a couple of days, I can't fully remember, before I tore my hamstring at the World Championships when I was running the 200-meter final. And I think this day I was feeling really anxious about the competition. Going into this championships, it was like my final year of high school. I was a stressed teenage girl with like other priorities, like trying to get into university and graduation and prom and all the things. And I just remember being like really anxious going into those final couple races, because I used to put a lot of pressure on myself. Really unnecessary pressure on myself.
But that's it, right? When you look at this photo, your parents are there, you're taking a moment together. What is that dynamic with your parents? Have they been supportive all the way, or are they the ones who are always the ones to get up and go?
How do they help you deal with all that you just talked about, all those pressures?
Well, that's the thing, right? This was a prime example of them kind of like taking me out of the environment that was like feeling really like high stress, and they were like, let's just go have lunch and have a day and try to take your mind off the competition. And that was them helping, again, like a teenage girl, how to manage some really high pressure, sensitive situations. And they've just been doing that my entire life, honestly. They're the reason why I got involved in sport at such a young age, and they have brought me to every practice, every prosthetic appointment, and have just been huge advocates to make sure that I was getting everything I need, and also to make sure someone like myself, being a person with a disability, was afforded every opportunity possible, because that's all they truly wanted, was to make sure that I was given the opportunities to succeed.
Oh my story of my life. Story of my life. That is not a basketball player. That is a hockey player. That is Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres, who is he 6'7"?
Jeez, really?
He's a big guy.
I don't know. Really? Did you just
what?
Did you just
I have a 12-year-old. Of course I did. I was like,
did it.
Oh gosh.
So normally they don't give me anything to stand on. It's just like too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
This was an arrival interview, thank goodness, because if he had his skates on, he would have been even taller. Although I did interview him a couple weeks ago post game. And the poor guy was like, oh my goodness. So he actually like practically did the split so he could come down as much as he could to my level, but he was still just
like
so
when
tall.
you inch your feet out like this.
Yeah, and
so that you
skates.
amazing.
I'm like, please don't kill yourself, right? So that's what that is. That was I think that was, what was that? That would have been Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens, I believe.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the camera guy was like, this is so ridiculous because I just see the top of your head and I can't properly frame this interview. So we just grabbed a box.
Oh, I love it.
This is in Moab, Utah. You were playing down in Utah for the Utah Royals, and we went on like our first kind of big trip.
That was pretty early dating.
It was kind of early dating. And I remember getting off the flight and being like, oh, I think I really like you. But like, you know, like I mean, we were madly in love at this point in time. But I remember just like flying in from Toronto and being nervous to see her in there.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I think I'm going to marry this person.
Yeah.
Like, it was like nerve-wracking. Yeah.
That's awesome.
A beautiful part of the world too.
That's also the first, so you both posted that. And that's like your Instagram, like we are Instagram official.
Did you know that?
Yeah. And your caption was just simple. It was like, I'm happy or something.
Yeah.
There was lots of layers.
But putting that photo up, were there any nerves about doing it? Were you just like, I'm going to post it, I'm good with this? And you guys posted it, I think, the same day.
I publicly came out prior to my second Olympics in Sochi. So I had been very, very open and out for a long time. But yeah, I won't lie, it's a significant step to be Insta official.
Right.
I was like, all right, post.
Yeah.
No regrets in any capacity.
Yeah.
But I thought about that for you, certainly, being a women's soccer player and not having been out, it was a little statement for people that were looking for it.
Yeah, and like Anastasia was the first woman I dated, so this was kind of the coming out photo too. But I don't know, like I was 36, I was pretty comfortable in my own skin at that point. So.
It's a beautiful.
And like the caption apparently said, I was happy.
I'm happy.
No, maybe it was just a happy face.
But that first Instagram post you do with your partner, that's like the commitment. That's everybody knows. I'm committed to this person. But it was a wonderful moment.
Yeah. Well, we picked a great location too. Like I was for Utah Royals, and that's at Moab. I don't know if it's state park or national park, but yeah, if anyone gets a chance to go to the parks, they're unbelievable.
You'll fall in love with someone there.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a picture.
You will meet your soulmate.
Also, how was prom?
Oh my God. That's so funny that you just like shifted right up. That was fun.
Was it? Okay, good.
I'm still happily with my prom date.
What?
Oh, wow.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 26. We've been together for 9 years.
So when's the what?
So yeah, not many people can say that. So
That's great. And he must be really supportive in this process as well.
He absolutely is.
Yeah.
Paris was the first time he was able to come to like one of my major championships.
Nice.
So he loves being part of it as well.
Yeah.
And it's been a great journey.
Is he coming with you next year to the Winter Games too?
Well, I'm gonna be corresponding from
from here. Okay.
But I'm sure he'll be like
number
coming
one
to the studio.
yeah.
See, there you go.
Or, like maybe a little sign.
Yeah, maybe
Are you gonna-
engagement on live television. I don't know. I'm just
Could
putting out.
be.
What's his name?
Justin.
Justin. Listen.
Uh-oh.
What we could do for the Winter
Here it comes.
Olympics.
Talk to us. We will coordinate.
I know which ring to get to.
He's going to be the guy on set that people are going to have to be like, hey, quiet. Because he's going to be clapping and cheering every time you do a segment.
Here we got Rio 2016. This was our second bronze medal as a women's national team. We did. London 2012 was like watershed moment. First medal for women's soccer, first medal for a Canadian summer team sport since 1936. And then this was back-to-back podiums, which I think hadn't been done in over 100 years for Canada. So this was like, we set the mark with London, but this was like, okay, like we're here to stay.
Yeah, you're a history maker.
Yeah.
In so many ways. To even ask the question, but you sit back and you go, look what I'm doing, look what I've done. And not to pat yourself in the back, but reflecting.
I think we've been too busy to reflect. We're going on vacation soon.
Then a good time to reflect.
No, I think this group, and I think a lot of women's athletes, like the medal we won in London 2012, the thing that united us as a team was the idea of leaving the sport better than we found it for the next generation.
Well said,
I think a lot of women's athletes subscribe to that. It's about building it for the next generation so that they can build it further. So I think that's carried me through, and a lot of these women, after retiring too, and what we're doing now, it's still about leaving the game better than we found it.
What's happening here?
So this was when I realized I won my Paralympic bronze medal in Tokyo. That season was incredibly tough.
Yeah.
I think in the moment I was just gaslighting myself the entire season, thinking like everything's fine. But do you know that meme of the dog in the house and it's on fire and it's like everything's fine? That was me the entire season. And so just being able to finish off and achieve what I had been working so hard to achieve in my first like global medal was truly like the icing on the cake for such a hard couple years, so difficult for so many people. But going into that games, I just felt such a huge level of gratitude because going through COVID, it made me realize, and I'm sure a lot of other athletes, how much of a privileged sport is.
Yeah,
and
well
to
said.
be able to travel and to experience all these amazing things. And so here I was just celebrating with one of my Dutch competitors because she was someone that I guess, although is my competition, has been a cheerleader of mine as well in a weird way. And I think that a lot of the women that I compete with at this level, we are all genuinely pretty happy for each other when we're successful. And I honestly think that you don't break down barriers alone. And I think we've all been able to do that together because when you run faster, so does someone else. And we just push each other and continue to break that mold, break that barrier, and showing how fast women on blades can run.
That's one of the things I love the most about that photo. The camaraderie there.
Yeah. So that moment, that feeling, do you remember that? The reaction in that stadium, that smile.
Yeah. I think I blacked out a little bit. I definitely blacked out during the race because people were like, what did the race feel like? I was like, I don't remember a thing because I completely just like went to this whole other planet and was like, I think like that was when I think for the first time I achieved like really confident racing. And you know, it was a photo finish, so my placement didn't come up. You know, first, second came up, and then my placement was like, okay, that felt really good. I dipped at the line really hard. I felt everyone around me, but I have no idea where I finished. And that moment when I saw my name come up in the bronze medal position was truly surreal. And I honestly, when people ask me about that and what that felt like, it was honestly amazing. But at the same time, I always kind of realized that there was a lot of deja vu in the moment looking back at it because I had dreamed of that moment time and time again. So it's really crazy to think about the power of what our minds and how we can believe and manifest something to happen. Obviously there's a lot of hard work that needs to take place, but you know, when you really truly believe something that you can do it, it did feel like deja vu.
Something that's really important, the idea of talking to other athletes and what they're going through mentally and physically, you kind of understand the steps that they're going through. Do you have empathy towards them when they're going into a space that's so important to them?
Absolutely. I know firsthand what that feels like. And I think that's what is a really unique and cool opportunity about doing this as a current athlete and someone that's very much in it still, is that I will be watching and I will be very much feeling the feelings they're feeling and sympathizing with everything they're feeling. Because I know as a lot of people ask athletes, like, what does it feel like to represent Team Canada? And what does it feel like to be at the Olympics and Paralympics? And it's hard to describe in words, but when they are describing it, I will know how that feels. Like I'll know, even if they don't have very many words to describe it, it's like, trust me, I understand where you're coming from. So.
One time, I think it was after the Tokyo Olympics, which that was obviously an odd one because of COVID and stuff. But the athletes were so disconnected in so many ways because of that. But I hosted a welcome back party for them. And they were some of the athletes that were there and they were just so blown away. They're like, we didn't think like anyone would even come out and support us because there were no fans in the stands there, but then they also had no clue. I'm like, are you kidding? Like these Olympics brought this country together, right? So it was
very
special.
cool.
It's always special to see that, oh, they love us.
They love us,
yeah, we do.
Olympics must be so special for you to cover. Like it seems like a major highlight for you.
I love it because of all of that, right? I mean, I'm not naive and we can have so many other different conversations about sports. But if I were to truly just stick to the core of what it's supposed to mean, right? It is supposed to mean equality. It is supposed to mean fairness. It is supposed to mean inclusion. And there's a humanity to it, right? Even not just within your own country, but again, showing the respect to other countries. So wonderful how it brings people together. I love it.
Oh, okay. I need to go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Can I come with you?
Let's go.
I'll throw in the luggage.
I'll pack my bag.
The feeling of competing for your country and being at the pinnacle of your sport is really like none other. And it's when all of that hard work, all the dedication and all the sacrifice really does come together and you're able to just perform and show the world what you're capable of. It's a testament to all the support that you have because no athlete gets to where they are alone. And I think it is just such a fulfilling experience. And regardless, I think, of how I've competed over the years, you know, I've had some competitions where I haven't had much success. And then I've had some competitions where I've had success and hit my goals and what I was looking to achieve. But I think regardless, through all those experiences, whether they were quote unquote positive or negative, I always just felt so privileged and so happy to be able to represent my country. And I know at the end of the day that regardless of how I've done in the past and how I do in the future, I'm always making the people in my circle proud and making hopefully Canada proud. And I think a lot of athletes really do feel that support and gratitude when they get to be able to experience their sport at the highest level possible.
Amazing.
See, that was a great answer.
That was fantastic. This transition of being, an athlete on the world stage to a broadcaster and reporting on it looks so seamless. The way that you've done it, it really has, and it's like joyful. You bring this joyful energy when you're doing your work there. Tell us about what it felt like to actually make that switch. And people think of athletes having nerves of steel, but your first day of school is still your first day of school.
Oh
right?
yeah. No, the first day of hosting the Olympic Games was quite nerve-wracking. I am so grateful for my job, and I do try it. I appreciate that word joyful, because when I was skating, speed skating is a love of my life. It's given me all the gifts that I can ever think of. Like, I've met my beautiful wife because of skating around in a circle. But there was a lot of my story that I felt never was told properly. And I've had that lived experience. And so now being on this side of the things and, this side of the fence and being a journalist, I just very much try and, lead with that curiosity and that joyfulness, but also recognizing that they are human beings before they're athletes, and everyone hurts, and the good times and the bad times and everything in between. I'm more interested in that than just podiums. So I appreciate it. It's a real honor, and it's a huge gift to just have that trust with the athletes.
Yeah. You talked about your story not being told the right way. What do you mean by that? What happened in terms of
just
your journey?
I was so lucky. Like, I was 20 years old in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And between Vancouver and Sochi, I really struggled. I came out of the closet. I was a kid that had like a toxic lack of self-love.
Yeah.
So I attached all my self-esteem to my results, right? So a good race, fine. Bad race, like, I'd be in bed for 3 days.
Right.
And it's so easy, I think, as human beings. It's not just athletes. Like, we all get so attached to what we do, and we put our self-esteem and worth into it. And speed skating, I mean, you win or lose by 1/1000th of a second. And so that, that lesson and that journey of trying not to attach all of my self-worth to external things, it's a lifetime's journey, really. I still make mistakes, but there was just some mental health struggles. There was just so much of who I was that wasn't captured in my career that I really hope I can give that gift to others.
I honestly have so many stories that I could share, and I don't think I fully understood the magnitude of what being a role model meant, but I would get like glimpses of it as like a young child. And I had a really great role model. Her name's Stephanie Reed. She competes for Great Britain, and she used to compete for Team Canada, and just seeing her do her thing in the sport, and she was also someone that like looks like me. And so seeing her do that was always something that had opened my eyes and showed me the importance of good role models. And then when I actually got my very first running blade when I was 12 years old, I was running up and down the hallways at Hull and Blairview's Rehabilitation Center, and I was just like a kid. I was enjoying it. I was loving being in new equipment for the first time, because it felt like I had this whole new sense of mobility that I'd never had before. And I remember there was a little girl that was like half my age, so she was probably like 6 years old, and she had amputation below the knee on one side, and she looked at her mom and said, "When I grow up, I want a running leg just like her."
That's awesome.
And so I think from that moment, and I don't know if it really stuck at the moment, but I think about that, and that's something that my parents witnessed, and they remind me a lot about that moment, about my role in sport being so much more than just, breaking records or trying to win medals or competing for your country. It was also going to be about setting a good example for the next generation and showing what's possible.
This is the love of it. It was funny because growing up, I didn't want to watch sports. Who wants to watch sports? I wanted to play sports.
Yeah.
So I got out, and some of my best friends were made in this sports world, and everything from, learning how to fall down and get up, and losing and recovering from that, right? There's so much about the sports world that can translate into the real world. I truly believe when done right, it can raise some incredible people.
Yeah.
And you make some incredible friends. So these are great memories for me.
Aww.
She made it.
She made it.
The Olympics, do the whole thing. Congratulations on everything. We're so excited about the broadcast.
I just want to know what you're looking forward to in the Olympics for next year.
Oh my goodness. At the risk of sounding completely cheesy, I mean, I just love watching these athletes who work so hard to qualify, because it's never guaranteed, and they have their moment to shine. And yes, you're competitive and you want to be on that podium, but at the end of the day, when you represent yourself, your family, and your country with pride, it is just something beautiful to witness. So I just can't wait for them to have their moment in the sun.
Amazing.
Yeah. And NHL players are back this year as well, right?
Well, let's get that rink ready, yeah?
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for sharing your story. And
Yeah. Be on our show.
Yeah.
we'd love to.
Yeah, I'm here. Now you're hired too.
I'll get coffee.
Yeah,
Time. It's going to be the best ever. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and your journey just these 5 photos, 5 or 6, I can't even count.
Yeah,
but these but this really shows what you have done for Canada, and it's really special. So thank you.
This is delightful.
Thanks for coming over.
I've done this all day.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So much.
Thank
So
you.
fun. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited that we know you can do it. Thanks.
Thank you so much.